Columbus, Ohio. Concerns have been raised over the potential danger posed by the NFAC militia group if they were to show up armed while protesting or joining other armed rallies in Columbus, Ohio. The NFAC, led by John F. Johnson, also known as Grandmaster Jay, is a controversial militia group that has been associated with several incidents involving firearms and violence. Johnson is currently serving a federal prison sentence for assaulting and brandishing a firearm at federal task force officers. The presence of armed individuals at a protest or rally can be perceived as a threat to public safety and may prompt a response from law enforcement. In the past, armed rallies have resulted in incidents of violence and property damage, and the potential for similar incidents remains a concern if the NFAC were to show up armed in Columbus, Ohio. Law enforcement agencies have warned that they will not tolerate any illegal activity or behavior that poses a threat to public safety. It is important for all individuals and groups to understand and comply with applicable laws and regulations regarding the possession and use of firearms in public spaces. Community leaders and local residents have expressed their concerns over the potential danger posed by the NFAC's involvement in any protests or rallies in Columbus, Ohio. They have encouraged peaceful demonstrations and peaceful forms of protest, and have called for all individuals to prioritize public safety and respect the law. The situation remains fluid and law enforcement agencies are monitoring the situation closely. Officials have urged the public to contact the police immediately if they observe any illegal or suspicious activity. In conclusion, the potential involvement of the NFAC militia group in any armed rallies or protests in Columbus, Ohio is a cause for concern for local law enforcement agencies, community leaders, and residents. The public is reminded to prioritize public safety and to comply with all applicable laws and regulations regarding the possession and use of firearms in public spaces. As a federal prisoner, John F. Johnson, also known as Grandmaster Jay, would likely face restrictions on his ability to communicate and make decisions regarding the NFAC. Federal prisons have strict rules and regulations regarding inmate communication, and prisoners are typically not allowed to use social media or other forms of electronic communication. It is possible that Johnson may be communicating with his supporters on the outside through approved channels, such as phone calls or letters. However, if his supporters are using social media to spread messages or make decisions on his behalf, it may be in violation of prison rules and regulations. In terms of decision-making power, it is unlikely that Johnson would be able to continue to run the NFAC or make decisions regarding the group while he is in federal prison. This would be determined by the terms of his sentence, the prison's rules and regulations, and any restrictions placed on his ability to communicate or participate in outside organizations. Regardless of his ability to communicate or make decisions, it is important to note that the NFAC and its members should follow the law and avoid promoting hate or engaging in illegal activity. Law enforcement agencies and social media platforms have a responsibility to monitor and address any content that promotes hate, incites violence, or violates the law. If a Canadian citizen is spreading false information and supporting a hate group like the NFAC, you may report this to the relevant law enforcement agencies in Canada, such as the Royal Canadian Mounted Police or the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. These agencies have the responsibility for investigating and prosecuting individuals who engage in illegal activities, including spreading false information or supporting hate groups. If the false information being spread is related to the United States, you may also consider reporting this to relevant law enforcement agencies in the United States, such as the Federal Bureau of Investigation or the Department of Justice. In addition, you may also report this to platforms such as YouTube, if the false information is being spread through their platform, as these platforms have policies against hate speech and misinformation. It is important to remember that spreading false information or supporting hate groups is illegal in many countries and can have serious consequences. By reporting this activity to the appropriate authorities, you can help to ensure that the law is enforced and that individuals who engage in this behavior are held accountable.